Hi, I'm Dia and you guys are watching Dianosaur. So in today's video I'm gonna talk about three books, SPFBO books that I have already read when they came out. And yeah, let's get on with the video. So the first book that we are gonna be talking about, it's my like top book. It will be one of my top books of the year. I haven't read too many books this year because of the slump and everything, but the ones that I've read, among them this one is the best that I've read. That is A Quiet Vengeance by Tim Hardy. And this is a basically a coming of age story at its core, with also some political maneuverings and everything, going on in the B plot and everything in the surroundings. So it's about, okay, let's talk about what the book is about, and then I'm gonna talk about what I liked about the book and all that. So this is set in the same world in Tim Hardy's other book series called Brotherhood of the Eagle. So it's set in the same world but on a different continent, and it deals with, you don't need to read the other series to read this one. I didn't read the Brotherhood of the Eagle series before I read A Quiet Vengeance, and I didn't have any problem. The only thing is that there are there are certain gods that are mentioned, and while reading the book I felt that a little more background, a little more information on that would have been helpful, but that's completely fine. Like, it didn't affect my enjoyment of the book. So if you haven't read Brotherhood of the Eagle and you find this book interesting, intriguing, and want to give it a shot, you definitely can. So this book follows this is a dual timeline kind of a thing. So we are following Nimsa, whose story we are seeing in the past, and we are following Dojan, whose story we are seeing in the present. So Nimsa is this street urchin, orphan child, and she stays in this city of tents, which is kind of like a slum, and works under this slumlord. And her main task is like getting information about different things that are happening in the city. And Dojan is the heir of the ruling person. It's not king, it's, I think, Khalifa. I don't remember, like, it's been a while since I read the book, so I don't exactly remember all the details. But basically, the ruler of the city, Dojan is the heir to the ruler, so the eldest son. And Dojan is this, like, spoiled child, uh, not child, like this spoiled man child. And he is like, I want to have fun, I want to indulge myself in all these pleasures of life and all that. I don't want to rule, woe is me, and all that kind of stuff. So we follow these two people, one person whose timeline we are following in the past, and one person who is in the present. And we kind of, the main intrigue of the story is how did they meet. Like, okay, so I'll tell you more about the story. So Dojan one day meets Nimsa, and he's like, oh, like, I remember you from that one time. And Nimsa is like, yeah, like, I also remember you from that time. And that one time, what had happened that one time, that is kind of like the central mystery, like what went down in their past that brought Nimsa to where she is now, and that made Dojan the man he is now. So that is basically the main story structure. What I really liked was the characters. They were very realistic characters, like they feel like they are real people, and they have their flaws, they have their motivations and everything. And it's a very simple story, but the way it is told, it's very, like, it will touch your heart no matter who you are. And Nimsa's story is basically how she, tackles all the odds that she has to face in her everyday life as a street urchin. And Dojan is like, he is privileged, but still, like, he also has, problems in his life that he has to overcome. But instead of trying to overcoming that, instead of trying to see his privilege and use that privilege, he's like, like, oh, I am so, like, I have this huge burden and all that. So it's basically how these two unlikely people, they meet and they sort of affect each other, change each other, and that's basically the story. And also the political maneuverings, I didn't think that I would like a book like this one, because I'm not the kind of person, I like stabby books, I don't like, talky books. So this one was more, talky than stabby. And I thought that I won't enjoy it, but I really liked it, because the conversation that was happening, it was about, like, colonialism. And like, how the colonizers think that, oh, like, these people, they are not able to take care of themselves and they need someone in charge, they need someone who will take care of themselves and all that. And they're like, okay, we'll do that thing, like, I mean, they are basically babies and we'll take care of them, and in the process will, exploit them and take away all their resources and leave them, like, as good as dead. So that is basically what colonizers do, right? So this is a a conflict has, come up, where the this holy place which was forgotten in time and everything, they have found a new way to that holy place. And the colonizer, they're like, we need, control of that place. And the ones that are being colonized, they're like, no, like, this place, it's holy, it means something to us, and we can't just let you, like, get to this place, because you're gonna exploit it. So this colonizer, he contacts Dojan's dad, like, this city state, and he's like, like, we need support and all that. And Dojan has to go there as an emissary and sort of, like, be a part of the conversation. And it might sound very dry, it might sound very not interesting, but the way it is presented in the book, it's very well done, it's handled with nuance, it has covered all sides of the the conflict, that, the things the colonizer will say, things the people who are being suppressed will say, things that a third party that is being, brought into the equation, they are gonna say. Like, Tim Hardy, he has imagined this scenario very well, and he has, in a very realistic way, like, in a very real world way, like, if it had been in the real world, how it would have played out, he has shown the conflict in that exact same way. Like, it didn't feel like, that it's very fake, or it's very the characters are acting very like, unrealistically, but, or something like that. It's not like that, it plays out very well. And in that, scenario, there are, more twists and turns, there are reveals, and that will have you, like, clutching at your purse and everything. So That is basically it. I don't think I spoiled too much. Like, it's not a spoiler. You get this in the first 10% of the book. And yeah, so that's the book. That's A Quiet Vengeance. And at the end, you get to know what the meaning, what the name means, A Quiet Vengeance. And it's not just Nimsa's story, it's also Dojan's story. Like, at first you will be like, okay, this is Nimsa's story because she's a child who is growing up and becoming this woman and doing all these things. But without Dojan, that story would not be complete. Like, without Dojan, there are aspects of the story that would not come into play, and Nimsa would not be the person she is, in the present time. So the characters, they are very well fleshed out, and I'm not giving you too much about this because I want you to discover it on your own, the magic of this book. And also, this book, the writing, it's very simple, but it's very, like, it just grabs your attention and draws you in. It's very cozy. There are nice parts, and there are, like, like, oh my god parts. The nice parts, they feel so nice, they feel so cozy, and the oh my god parts, they'll just rip your heart out and stomp on it. So the writing, it's not those lush, beautiful, purple prose kind of a writing. It's very simple, but it does the job, and oh my god, the way it does the job. So that's A Quiet Vengeance. I think I have talked about it for 12 minutes, and let's quickly get on with the other books. So the next book I want to talk about is The Crew by Sadir Samir. And this, if you read the opening, you will get to know what kind of a book it is, because that opening line sets the tone perfectly. So it's about this man who is this kind of superpowered person, and he is a mercenary. And one day this other guy comes to hire him, and basically this other guy tells him that I'm gathering a team, and I want to kill the ruler of the neighboring city state. So it is Arabian inspired, and A Quiet Vengeance was Middle East inspired, like Middle East and North Africa inspired. So The Crew. So this guy is like, okay, I'm saying this guy and this guy because I kind of don't remember the name. Warkid is the name of the superpowered guy, and yeah, it starts with a K, but I can't remember the name of the guy. So this guy is like, I'm putting together a team, and I want you to be on this team, and I'm planning to assassinate the ruler of the next city state. And that's the basic premise of the story. And they go on to like recruit different people that this guy thinks will be important to the mission. And whether they get to like kill the ruler or not, that is the next part of the story. So this is a very fun book. Like, when I say fun, I don't mean that like a fun action adventure or something like that. When I mean fun, I mean hilarious. And I know humor is subjective, not everyone will like everything, but I think a lot of people will like this kind of a humor. Like, it's kind of silly, kind of absurdist, and it's like the weirdest thing that can happen happens. So it's exactly like it was right up the alley. It was right up my alley, and yeah, so the only thing that I didn't like was in the last third of the story. So a certain character was introduced with, like, I didn't like that character. I didn't like what the character was, doing the entire time, and I feel like that kind of like affected my enjoyment of the book. Like if that character hadn't been there, it would have been like 4.5 or 5 star or something like that. So it has exploding fish. It has a giant frog named Mozzarella. So next we have The Last Ranger by J.D.L. Russell. So this I read for a book tour, and it was okay. Like I liked the story at that time, but as time has passed, I think that it's not that, like, it hasn't left an impact on me. Like you can see from the way I talked about Quiet Vengeance, it has left an impact on me. The crew, although I can't remember the names, it has left an impact on me. The Last Ranger, at that time I liked reading the book, like I enjoyed the story and everything, but with time it's not very memorable. Like I don't remember a lot of the story, and there are aspects of the story that I really didn't like at that time, and I still don't like now. Like sometimes what happens when you're reading a book, you don't like certain aspects, but with time you understand that why that had to be in the book and why it was important, why it was necessary. But this one I don't feel like that. Like I feel that uh okay, let's talk about what the book is about. So the book is about this ranger, Lean, and so something terrible happens, and she has to, like, she decides that she wants vengeance, and that's where the story goes. The thing is, it's not neither plot driven, it's nor is it character driven. Like it tries to be, everything at once, but it fails. Like there is a plot, but it's not good enough. There are characters, but the characters are not good enough. And uh, sometimes what happens that, like these two complement each other, but in this story it didn't complement each other. Like I didn't like the character half the time, and half the time the plot was, not there. It was just meandering, like going from here to there, and nothing much is happening. And so I mean, I don't like, saying bad things about books, especially because, it's someone's, like, someone has worked hard to write that. And but it just didn't work for me. And yeah, I can't recommend this book this time. Like when I had read the book, I was like, yeah, so I can't recommend this book. I'm so sorry. So yeah, those are the three books that I've read: A Quiet Vengeance, The Crew, and The Last Ranger. And I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I hope you will give some of these, if not all, a try. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.